Hello guys, we are going to be spooky today. I'm going to do makeup, yes, and I have chosen like the more spooky palettes that I have, like the Kat Von D Sinner and Saint. Is that what it's called? I believe so. I chose the Lunatic Cosmetic Labs, like the Coffin Witcher board. And I think it's Storytime Storybook, The Witchery and Witchcraft. And I have a new background. You guys like it? This should symbolize like the Sun tarot card. Slightly different. Not just slightly different, a lot different. Normally it goes up, but if I do that I can't fit it in the picture, so it's in the other way. I'm going to do two makeups today, so I'm going to do one that's a little bit more normal, and then I'm going to do one that's a little bit more Halloween crazy. You guys been asking for this, so here it is. So yeah, I'm not quite sure about what I'm doing. I also have my Witcher pen shirt, is that what you call it? That I got from Torture Couture. I mean, we are really in the spookiness. Everything I wear is spooky. The dress is from Killstar. I'm going to put a headpiece on. That's from Rest Style. I haven't used this enough, and today is the day. And I do need to have my hair back, so I was like, why not use it? Look at this beauty. I love this. I love it so much. If I can find the pictures where I had it on for a shoot, I will post them somewhere on the screen. But let's go ahead and put it on. I actually got this from Amazon. I hope this is good. I have a mirror. How fitting that it's black on the other side. Oh my god, I'm so fitting today. Yeah. I have my candles, so I'm going to put candles on. We have lashes because yes. I think the most cute thing that I have here is my makeup wipes. Okay, so we are putting candles on. I mean, I didn't really, you know, think about what is we're going to talk about today, but I am surely going to like touch on creepy things. Just a tiny bit. This is going to take a while. The weather is rainy and I got my first pumpkin. It is the first time today that I'm going to carve a pumpkin. I never tried that before. I even, when I got it yesterday, I was like, I think it's the first time that I touch a real pumpkin. I was that excited about it. So I will see how much I can film today, but you know, I should have the time to film a lot. I started early. So today is just going to be a very spooky day. So I am going to start with my brows. One thing that I have been addicted to the past days is Mile High's podcast on YouTube. I will put a link down below because I learned so much about humanity, aliens, the spiritual, paranormal, whatever, and that's just my that's right down my alley. I needed my brushes that I still have to clean, but I will pick out the clean ones. Even my, you know, my brushes is from it looks creepy. They are from Rouge and Row. It is the Dragon edition. So I'm going to use them for, you know, most part. But the Mile Higher podcast is actually I started following Kendall Ray. She is doing a lot of like crime videos with like serial killers and unsolved cases and stuff like that, and I love that. It's just like, it's my addiction. Even to that I do need to take a break sometimes because it is heavy stuff, and you guys know me now that I do the spiritual and I'm like on a high vibration. You know, it does tug on your energy, because also me being an empath, you know, it is a little I will try to show you guys the products that I use. I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Dip in Ebony. So it's like a dark brown without being black. Back in the days I used black, but you know, I don't know. For some reason it feels too much for me to do that now. I might use black for the more heavy makeup look that I'm going to do later, where I'm also going to put contacts in. They are not super creepy because I don't have the super creepy ones. I have tarot cards. No, I have contact lenses that they are like completely white, but if I put them in I can't see anything. I mean, that is so stupid. So I might not use them. But yeah, I love Kendall Ray. I do. She's a Taurus, so she has this podcast with her boyfriend, and he's a Virgo. I like the series because she's so much into like the zodiac signs and all that, like I am. So, you know, it's so interesting to learn about other people's zodiac signs. I have a lot of Taurus people in my life, so it's funny. They are talking about aliens, and I do believe in aliens. I believe in the universe. And, you know, some people believe that aliens and spirits are very, you know, they are linked together. Like spirit guides and stuff like that. I mean, it's a huge thing. And I would say that religion today it's a very tricky thing, because if you think about wars and fights in the world, it's all about religion. And if we think about it, we all actually come from the same place. I mean, God, the universe is the same thing. Allah, whatever it is that you believe in, it is the same thing. And I would actually like to know if you guys believe that too. I'm not going to talk about religion. I would say that I'm not religious. I am just believing in the universe. That's just me. But I would really like to know, you know, how you guys think about that. Like, what do you believe in? I don't mind if people believe in something else. I'm trying to find my stuff that's right in front of me. Ooh, I forgot to put my ring on. Even the ring is very gothic. This ring is from, is it Blood Moon or Blood? I will put it in the description. I can't remember what it is now. It's interesting about the aliens. And yesterday I saw the episode with the, I can't remember if it's called 411 or 411 missing. Like, the amount of people disappearing in like nature. That is so crazy. And they talked about like some of the stories with the boy who, you know, disappeared, and 20, I can't remember if it's 20 years after, they found some bones and they found his clothes. Like the shoes were like untouched. The clothes didn't look like clothes that would have been like in nature for that long. That was just crazy. So, you know, again, there's a lot of conspiracies. That was a really hard word for me to say. There's conspiracies about, like, you know, is it aliens or is it Bigfoot, or also because the interesting thing is that there is evidence that stuff like that is real, but people are just, some people are afraid of it. They're like, no, we're not going to listen to it because it's too scary. It's the same with spirits. You know, some people don't want to hear about it because, like, it's too scary. It's, you know, we want to believe that we are the only species out there. We are not. And if you follow me in my, you know, my SandraAngelina YouTube channel, you know how real stuff like that is. I mean, I don't know if Bigfoot is real. He could be. But spirits. Okay, I'm mixing up foundation because the foundation that I have is too dark. And I mean, it's too dark for me because it's winter. Plus that I might go a little bit paler today, so. But it's just, you know, it's interesting. But I know. I would like to know if you guys believe in spirits, or if you are like, nope. And if you don't believe in spirits, why? Why don't you believe in spirits? I probably should have washed my I might go do that. But the podcast is just so interesting. Also because that they have, here's the thing. And I think it's actually NASA, who came out with like that, yes, there is life on Mars. So that's something like that. Like the government is beginning to be a little bit more open about that aliens does exist. And I did speak about this in another video, with that in 2020 something big is going to be revealed. Like people are going to be shocked. People are going to realize that we're not the only living being. Okay, now they're ready. But it's just very interesting, like, you know, to learn about, because I believe in that. I've seen a lot of things. You know, so you guys know. If you have been subscribed to this channel for a long time, you know. Especially if you subscribe to the other channel. It shouldn't come as a shock that I believe in stuff like that. But I will say I haven't always been as open with it, because oh no, what are people going to think or say? And now I'm just like, whatever. You know, I want to be myself, and if people can't take me as I am, then they are not supposed to be in my life. And that's the way that you guys should think as well. But it's interesting with the alien. And I saw some days ago, like there was a video that you get to this black hole of YouTube where you see one thing and then you get recommended so many different videos. So I got into a what I call a YouTube black hole. Because there was so many different things, and suddenly I was just, you know, way out there. Like some physicist what do you call those? You know, people who study all that with other worlds. That some of us, we are like, you know, we did come to this world as light workers, and I know a lot of you guys know what a light worker is. A light worker is someone who is supposed to help humanity, who is here to guide other people, and I am one of those people. Most of the time with light workers, and that's not something I say, that's something that the guy said, and I can't remember who it was because I saw so many videos that day and I didn't save them because it was just one video after another. But most of the time with like there's apparently two types of light workers. Some light workers wrote soul contracts to come down to this, like, you know, this realm, this world where we are here to guide other people, we are here to, you know, teach other people. And most of the time, you know, obviously we have to learn about certain things before we can teach other people. And, you know, there's people who are not supposed to have kids, which for me was like, oh, interesting, because I am not supposed to have kids. I can have kids. And it's funny because there was a psychic many years ago. My mom used her. So, you know, I wanted her to try to read my future as well. And I remember that it was very, you know, what she wrote to me was very short, was very like, boom, 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 this is what's going to happen for you. And I remember that it was one thing was like, you're not going to have kids, which was it was a little shocking for me. I was like, how dare you? Another thing was that she said that I'm going to be together with, and the funny thing is she said English speaking man, or which, I mean, I don't know if it's because it's someone from England, or if it's because it's with an accent, or if it's American. But it's funny because I don't date Danes. I haven't dated Danes since I was engaged to one many years ago. So that's interesting. And see, another thing she said, and again, I think it's like in the way that people talk about things, but she was like, you're going to be a supermodel. When I was like, okay. It's like, supermodel. So again, she was a Danish psychic, so supermodel can be a YouTuber. It can be someone who's out in the public. Like an English man can be someone who's simply just speaking American, English, whatever. You guys know what I mean. But I was really young. I was maybe 17, 18 back then. So to think about like how my life is today, and how my life just from when I was 18 and up to now, there's a lot of similarities where I'm like, huh, a lot of the things that she said was right, because back then I didn't know that I couldn't have kids. I mean, I didn't really think about, I did actually think about having kids back then, or before I did. It was actually at a young age where it was with my it was so stupid, and thank God for the universe not planning that out the way that I wanted it planned out. But I was together with my ex-fiance back then. We got together when I was maybe 14. I know I was young. And I remember that my brother got engaged, and then for some reason I was like, oh, we should be engaged too. So we got engaged. Plus that they also got a kid, so I was like, oh, I want to have a baby too. So it was so stupid. So yeah, I did not what I wanted, but what I thought that was, what I wanted. But it didn't plan out, and I remember that, tried to have a baby, nothing happened. And I got diagnosed with like that I couldn't have kids. And in Denmark we call it the PCO, and it's something with the hormones. I don't know anything about it, and I haven't studied it, because I'm just like, well, it's I don't want to have kids, so why should I be like, okay? Because they were like, okay, we're gonna put you on a lot of hormones and a lot of blah blah blah, and then boom. But I didn't have that was years after, when they found out about why I couldn't get pregnant. So yeah, I'm not supposed to have kids, because I am not here to to have kids. That's not my life. And I know that a lot of people are like, oh man, but we are supposed to bring kids into this world. Yes, some people are, but I'm not. Not everyone on this planet is supposed to have kids. And I think it's because that in this modern world, people are like, oh, it's a normal thing to have kids, so you need to have a kid too. No, I have all my kids. I have all my subscribers. I have all my whatever, all my people out there. And a lot of people believe that our life is like already written in stone, but obviously we do have our free will. So if we are supposed to go left and we go right, then we have to take the lessons. I'm going to do some contouring, and this is going to be a little bit more dark look, so I'm doing heavy contouring. This is not the normal contouring brush that I use, but I don't know where mine is. This is so typical. But apparently we are all aliens. But there is like, light workers are a specific breed of aliens, from what I could understand. I can't remember what he was called. And think about it. What if the world is actually controlled by aliens? They did actually also speak about something. What was that? Little fnully nully. They did speak about, like, I can't remember. There was some person who, and I did actually follow him on Twitter. I'm going to see if I can find out who it is again. But I can't remember if it was it a Chinese guy maybe, who said that. I can't. Don't ask me how he found out or whatever. But you know, maybe it was a psychic. I can't actually remember. But they really, like, there was signs about that this is real. I'm going to try to put the link. I do actually think that I did put the link on my other channel. But it's something about that the aliens are going to come down and save the planet at some point, because that we humans just destroyed it. And for them, this planet is apparently more important because that it's like an organ for the other planets, if that makes sense. Again, I don't know all the details, but apparently this planet is an organ for, you know, for the other planets. It's very important, and we humans are destroying it. Literally. So they talked about that at one point they're going to come down and save the planet. But apparently it's going to happen when it's almost too late. Like, again, no one knows if they're going to come back and be like, we gave you guys a chance, so now it's bye-bye. Sweep us all off the world. Like we're gonna breed a new human species because you guys failed. I like that I take this all with such a sense of humor. And aliens, the guides are just going to be like, oh man, you don't even know. You're going to die in 10 years. No. But, you know, they're going to come down and they're going to save the planet in whatever way. And it's funny because some people, you know, speculated, what do you call that, about like the Rival movie. I don't know if you guys have seen it. That obviously they're going to come down at some point, maybe even next year, with something that's going to help us. But obviously they're going to have something in exchange because, you know, I mean, obviously. But that's so fascinating. I'm so excited about that. I could totally imagine us living along, what you call that? You know, with another species. I would say I'm not afraid of aliens. But I know that there is like categories for aliens, like the tall greys, which should be like the Scandinavian aliens, like aliens that look like human beings, just very tall and very with white hair and whatever do I know. So, you know, it makes sense that they would exist because they look like humans. So maybe we have already met them. And then there is the small greys. And I don't know if there's like tall greys or there's a lot of species. But it's interesting for me. And also if you look back, you know, on drawings on the wall from the Mayans and Mayans, what you call them. Like, everyone knew. There's so many signs that they exist. And I do feel that people who don't believe in it, they're just more scared of it. There's something that I can't find. My battery is also blinking, so I might put a new battery in before I continue. I'm back. But yeah, can't remember what the last thing was that I talked about. But it is like, you know, obviously there's good aliens and bad aliens. And I saw one of the episodes that Mile Higher did with like, it was something with Israel. There was some, was it Israel or was it something with the Rothschild family. Is that how you call them? There's something about that. It's like there's 5 very powerful families, and the Ruth families are one of them. And there's something about that they should be aliens or alien species or be controlled by aliens or what do I know. But it's like the bad aliens. Again, this is conspiracy. So if the government, what is this? This is just a conspiracy. If the Rothschild watches this, this is just a conspiracy. Don't kill me. But it's something about like, as like bad aliens that make sure that there is a war in Israel and places like that. Again, it's just what I heard. I don't know anything about it. I'm just saying what I heard. But there's so much corruption with that. Also with politics. I don't know, I mean obviously it's also bad in Denmark, but in America it's not the good people who are being selected. It's the people who can be controlled, like Donald Trump. I mean, he don't have anything to say. He's just a puppet. He's like the person that you can, he's stupid. So obviously, they can sneak around and do evil things, like the Illuminati is going to take over the world. So many things. I mean, if we people just knew. But it makes sense, like, to come back to the evil and the good and the evil. Like, we have demons, we have angels, we have, again, good and evil. So it makes sense that there is this yin yang. There is the good can be there if the evil is not there, and the evil can be there if the good is there. Did I say that right? So, it's very interesting and it goes deep. I've seen so much about all that it's like, it's very heavy. It's very heavy. But let me know if you guys, like that kind of thing. I am going to take, oh my god, what is this called? Because the writing, is it prophecy maybe? I'm going to use prophecy in my crease. But yeah, all the aliens, and there's more people who talk about the adoption, how you call that? Again, I'm so bad at pronouncing those words because I mix it with German and Danish. Even politicians came out with like, yeah, the aliens came down to take me. There's a Brazilian girl, I can't remember, like she tried to be the politic thing, and she talked about that, that the aliens came down and but I think that people don't talk about this, or people don't like to talk about this because it's like, it's scary. It's like people don't want to think about that there is such thing as aliens that we can't see, who maybe comes down to it and takes us, or like demons and stuff. Like, people don't want to hear about it, people don't want to believe in it. Another thing that I saw in the podcast was like the sounds that occurs around the world, like the trumpets. I wonder if some of you guys have heard that. I think it was in Sweden. There was something in Sweden, and there was something in, I can't remember if it was Denver or Colorado. I will try to play the clip to show you guys, but that is so scary, like those trumpet sounds.
Guys, what is going on?
Strange sounds are being heard around the world. In Sweden, this sure sounds like a trumpet. In Michigan, another trumpet-like sound. To date, some 17,000 civilians and scientists from around the world who call themselves Hummers have reached out to him, saying they heard the same thing.
It's like, what is that? Because the thing is that it sounds like it comes from the sky, but there's nothing to see. And there's a lot of speculations about like maybe it's the government that's testing something, you know, that we can't see, or it's the aliens, or you know. There's a lot of conspiracies about that. But yeah, I do believe in aliens. I do. And I do believe in the good, and I do believe in the evil. So again, it makes sense that there's good and there's evil. And I know that a lot of people are very scared about all that. Like, don't want to hear about it, don't want to listen to it, don't want to have anything to do with it. And it's fine if people don't want to hear about it. But like they said on one of the podcasts, that you know, I want to be prepared when this happens. I want to have all the knowledge that I need for the day when, you know, the aliens or whatever is going to show itself. Because they are going to show themselves at some point, and I do believe it is going to happen in our lifetime. Like, within the next 10 years, 20 years maybe. Obviously. Also with technology, like, damn, so many things, like, it's so scary with the robots and stuff like that that's coming out in 10 years. Another thing they talked about is like the new iPhones. Like, if you use the facial, like the recognition where they, you know, you can open your phone with that, that it's actually something about that the aliens, well, maybe the government uses that, like, so that they can make realistic copies of people, or there's something about that. I mean, oh yeah. If you hear about some of the things that the government is doing, also, just to speak about something else, like the event that happens once a year. What is it called? I have to... Oh, 11/11! I gotta show you guys. Look at this. Why we speak about stuff. But there's something where it happens in America in a forest. It's like some kind of... I'm gonna see if I can find it because I can't remember it. But it's like the powerful, the rich people are just, you know, Bohemian Grove. Bohemian Grove. I don't know if I say that right. You guys should. Again, I'm gonna put links down below to the episode because it's so interesting. But you know, the rich people are meeting up every year. It's very secret. It's, you know, no one is allowed to be there while they are. I think it's a week that they are there. It's like presidents and people who are part of like the TV thing, like the radio stations, and some singers, some artists. It's like, it's very top secret. But they have some kind of strange ritual. First of all, they have a big owl that they like. They do some kind of strange ritual in front of that owl, where they, and this is so strange because they have a little coffin, or I think it's a big coffin, where there's a skeleton in. Apparently, there's a skeleton in the coffin, and they only know all this because there was some kind of guy who got invited to that event, who secretly filmed it. But they do some kind of ritual or ceremony where they burn the coffin. And, you know, they say that there is, you know, it's a skeleton in the coffin. But the guy who filmed it says that he heard he heard someone scream while they burned the coffin. And you can hear it in the recording. It's very bad quality, but you can hear screaming. But who knows? But the rich and powerful people are, you know, are going there. And it is in California. I think it's in San Francisco or something like that, in the San Francisco area. in that wooded area. And the thing is, you can't even see anything from the Google Maps. I also tried that. Again, there's trees. They've really been very sneaky with, you know, finding that location for that. But it's been there since the 1800s, something like that. So it's old. And people believe that back then they really did, you know, kill people, like did offerings, what you call that, like they did, like the what you call it, the Mayans, what you call those? I'm so bad with names and words. Where they you know, they killed people for the gods. And there was a very interesting podcast where they were talking about, well, where they said, well, we don't do that today. But who says that we don't do that today? You know, there's a lot of things that we don't know. Also, what's happening at that Bohemian Grove events now that no one is allowed in. There's so much heavy security at that place. It's crazy. It's as heavy as Area 51. I'm doing eyeliner. But it's just very interesting, and you know, I'm a sucker for all that. I would like to know if you guys are a sucker for all that as well. Also, some people like, and this makes so much sense, that obviously they have something at Area 51, but I don't think they have what they had back in the days. So there's something called Area 52 somewhere underneath the ground. I mean, maybe it's right under our noses. That's the easiest place, right? Hide it where people didn't, you know, expect it to be. Maybe underneath, what you call it, the Empire State Building? Maybe underneath there. Now the government is going to, if I die mysteriously, then, you know, the government has something to do with it. I am not going to die mysteriously. I actually had a psychic tell me that you're going to live long. You're going to help a lot of people. Back then I was like, what? I'm going to help a lot of people? How am I going to help a lot of people? That was before YouTube. That was before I was this, like, spiritual, like believing in the things that I believe in now. So, I mean, it makes sense that I'm going to help other people, because I am so grateful that, you know, I already do from what you people write to me. Yeah, but Bohemian Grove, check it out. It's scary as F. I'm trying to save my mistakes here, but the things that the government is doing, I mean, some of the things that they talked about, what I learned in the past days, it's mind-blowing and it's scary. I really need to watch something happy after I seen those episodes, because some of this stuff is heavy. But again, it does make sense that there's more than just us out there. It does make sense. Whatever you want to call it, aliens. Maybe it's not. Think about it. What if they are not called aliens, but something completely different? And we just made the alien word up because we need to call it something. So when they come down here, they're gonna be like, well, we are not called alien. We are called some word that we don't even know. That is going to be so interesting. I'm ready for that. But yeah, I'm just fascinated about that. I'm fascinated about things that is there that you can't see. Also, they spoke about, like, when people do astral travel and stuff like that, where you go into another dimension and stuff like that. And I do that. Like, I do astral travel where I meet my guides, or, you know, meet people, whatever, you know. Well, it's if you haven't tried it, it's hard to explain how it works. But sometimes when I do it, I start out in a forest because that's what's easiest for me. And then whatever happens from there. It's so strange and it's so interesting. But what they talked about was, with that astral travel, was that you actually jump into other dimensions. You actually travel to the 5D world. So it's, again, it's more deep to think about it like that. That is not just something in your brain. You are actually going to another place. you're actually going to another place. Also because that we are not our body, our skin, that's not ours, that's just what we look like. You know, inside we are light, we are energy. It is all energy. Which again, if you learn about the energy and how to heal things, which I spoke about on the other channel, because I have healed a lot of things that, you know, wasn't supposed to be healed. Like the ankle thing that I had, where I got told that I would always feel that pain and I would never really be able to go in high heels because, you know, and I don't feel anything anymore. It's like it never happened for me. So again, what you think about, what you focus on is, you know, is obviously going to appear in your life. So if everything is energy, also with the astral travel, like using energy to travel to whatever makes sense. If you believe in manifestation and the law of attraction, there's so much that we humans don't even understand. Also that we humans, we don't even use our entire brain function. Again, I don't know what you call that, but I think what do we use? Maybe 5 or 10% of what it is that what we have. I can't remember what it is. I mean, think about what we humans can. Maybe that's a gift that, you know, the aliens are going to give us at some point. Like, what if the people who are missing, the people who are going missing, are the people who's been adopted or adopted, what you call that? I can't say that word. What if it's because the aliens, for some reason, implant something that's going to wake us up? So one day, when they're going to visit us, they're going to turn up a switch and boom. new knowledge. So they pick out people who are strong enough to help other people. Does that make sense? Aliens, please don't come and kidnap me in the middle of the night, because that would be scary. When I saw all those episodes when I went to sleep at night, I was so scared. Every noise that I heard was like waking up, putting on my iPhone light. God. Oh, that's why sometimes, you know, watching some of that stuff is, you know, you get sucked up in it. Because it's real. And I don't care if someone watching this is like, oh, aliens are not real. That's stupid. I mean, obviously, if you don't want to believe in that, it's okay. But I want to believe in it. You know. But think about it. What if they're real? What if aliens are real? If you would put, I mean, I would love to know from you guys, what do you believe in? What is your, like, theory? What is your thoughts about aliens? Like, do you believe in them? Do you think they're going to come visit us? I mean, I don't know all the species, but they did talk about some insect that people believe is a part of aliens. What is it? It is the green thing. It's the praying something. Praying mantra? What are they called? It's the green ones. They look very special. It's the insects that's they, after they do their magic with the male, they eat the head. It's like, whoa. Thank you. That is so scary. I mean, something with praying something. Gonna put a picture in. I am a sucker for aliens and this paranormal. It's like, yes. Yes, yes, yes. More of that. Okay. We're doing lashes. But it's just interesting. But it's sad if people don't believe in it. I mean, why do you believe that we're the only species out there? That must really be sad to be someone who's like, no. We're the most intelligent species out there. Well, I don't believe so. I mean, if you're someone who believes in spirits, you must believe in aliens. I mean, that kind of goes hand in hand. I would like to know that if you're someone who believes in the paranormal, do you believe in aliens too? And if you're someone who believes in the paranormal and you don't believe in aliens, I really would like to know why. Because in my head it doesn't make sense. I need to find a man who is, you know, believing in all the weird stuff that I believe in. I believe in weird stuff. Also, if people have seen, like, what's it called? Eyes Wide Shut. That's also some next level, like, government secret society thing. Again, where they do ritual with people, kill people, have control over other people. It is so interesting. But I am more scary now. I am unsure about the lipstick, because I did think about maybe taking, I mean, I have crazy colors, but I think that I might just go with this one for now. Whew. I am not good at using these applications. It's messy. It is messy. But I actually do want to talk more about all this, like, aliens and all that we don't know, because it's so interesting for me. Because, you know, again, now that I am doing, you know, paranormal and psychic work and speaking with, you know, you guys' deceased family, like, they come through in my readings, and when I do my channeling readings, videos. Of course there's other things out there. It would be stupid for me not to believe in it when I, you know, if it's my job, if that makes sense. But let me know if I should do more like conspiracy or talk more about stuff like that on this channel, because I might not use the other channel on that because it's for tarot cards. So if you guys want me to talk more about, like, the unseen secrets, aliens, conspiracies, whatever else we can find, it's like the déjà vu that we have sometimes. Like, some people believe that it has something to do with other dimensions. Also because, apparently, conspiracies, we live in other dimensions. We exist in other dimensions. And it's like in some dimensions you are yourself in the life that you live, but you are like years behind or years in the future, if that makes sense. You guys know what I mean. So, you know, if you get a déjà vu, it's sometimes like because we tap into another dimension where we exist from the past or the future, whatever that may be, and it makes sense. And I would say I'm not someone who actually, I don't have déjà vus a lot, I don't. But one of the experiences with that is actually from one of my friends, and it's so crazy because I remember it so vividly. It was my ex-fiance's friend. We were all with my family. We went to Paris, to Disneyland actually, where we lived in one of those small cities that they have close by in Paris. And there was a town, and I remember there was like a bar, so we were sitting out and drinking and having fun, and I went to the bathroom and I couldn't lock the door or something like that, so I came out again and I said, I can't lock the door. And our friend, my ex-fiance's and my friend was like, I just got a big déjà vu, like you just like experienced this exact moment. That was so crazy. That was so strange. So again, I can't remember any of my déjà vu memories. And I know some people say that it's like your brain doing a twitch, but it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But it could be. I mean, who knows? But you know, me believing in all that stuff just makes more sense that it has something to do with parallel universes for some reason, that we, you know, at that exact time our mental state is wide open, or there's something that's just, I heard something when we speak about this, weird stuff happens. You know, there's something that's happening that's provocating, you know, the currencies of whatever. Don't ask me. That's fascinating. But I would love to know if you guys believe in that as well. And I think this is going to be it for this Halloween Get Ready With Me, talking about conspiracies. I hope you guys learned something. But I would love to know what you think about the things that we talked about. Like, do you believe in it? Do you not believe in it? Did you have any experiences? Did you got kidnapped by aliens? That's what I really want to know. But do you know anyone who got kidnapped? Did you see anything? I mean, I will say that I've seen some strange shit, especially like at night, when there was something happening in the town where I grew up, where at night there was a big flash, and I can't remember if I was out with friends or whatever happened, but there was a big flash in it, like you could see that far away the whole entire sky got just lit up. I remember that we, you know, tried to see if there's anything in the news or online. There was nothing. No one talked about it, so I don't know what happened there. But it was just very fascinating because the whole entire sky was just lit up, and you could see that it came from, you know, from the earth and up. That was so strange. Another weird thing that I experienced with my ex-fiance was that I actually woke up in the middle of the night where I heard the sirens, like the test sirens that they always test in Denmark in, I think it's May. And this happened in maybe December. I remember it was cold, it was snowy outside, it's years back. So I went out because, you know, I was like, what the heck is happening here? And I heard the sirens so clear. And I remember that I woke up, I, you know, tried to wake my ex-boyfriend. I was like, did you hear that? We turned on the TV, there was nothing. That was so strange. That is going to be everything for today. I hope you guys like this makeup look. This is just a normal scary makeup look. I am going to do something that's a little bit more crazy, but I will do that after I do like a reading. But again, thank you guys for liking and subscribing, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.